Welcome, my friends. Welcome to Touching the Edge. I'm delighted to see you today. I'm delighted to see you because we are in a position that by asking the questions that we want to have answered for ourselves, we support others who have the very same question. Not only in asking the question, but also recognizing that we have something to say about the answer. What I'm suggesting is when you have a question, you actually usually have some sense as to what the answer is if you really listen to your own heart. If you're in contact with your intuition, the question and answer actually come together. And so I want to suggest to you right now that we can do this and support each other by asking questions that we bring into the world. And the question that I am going to check in with right now is a question from our dear friend Gloria. She says, would you say positive indifference is the same or different than acceptance? Would you say positive indifference is the same or different from acceptance? So first of all, I guess I might say to you, well, where I even got that from, positive indifference. So I actually really originally got that from the Lotus Sutra, which said that the Buddha gave 4 elements of advice. One is to have compassion. And I want to suggest that compassion starts from within and shines out. The second was to have kindness. So when you do have compassion, kindness is stimulated. Kindness is an activity. The third is joy, and we want to live with joy. We want to have joy bursting into our life, particularly during challenging times. Recognizing that joy is not some sort of mindless happiness. Joy is a deep and profound sense of meaning and a sense of making progress. So, and the final one that the Buddha talked about, supposedly, was indifference. But I want to suggest to you that when they are talking about indifference from the standpoint of the time where the Buddha was expressing it, it wasn't what we describe as indifference today. Indifference today is not necessarily a compliment. If someone is said to be indifferent, it's sort of like they don't care. I amended that to positive indifference because that's the kind of thing that I feel that this is really expressing. Positive indifference is that radiant and ambient sense of yes. It's a sense of that no matter what happens, we got this. Positive indifference is a relationship to that sense of responsibility, meaning the ability to respond, and no matter what happens, we're going to make it work. So this positive indifference is really a great part of manifestation. Because when you feel like no matter what happens, we're going to be successful, you can then more focus on what you actually want to happen. Meaning that if you have something that you want to happen exclusively, what ends up happening then is that you also don't want something to happen also as much or even more. I mean, think about it. How many times do we spend our lives focused mainly on what we fear is going to happen? Positive indifference takes some of the pressure off. Now, acceptance. Positive indifference is sort of an active acceptance. Acceptance could also be seen as a resignation. But we're talking about an acceptance much the same as when we look at the angel cards. When there's an acceptance, there's the picture of the angel at the threshold of a door that says welcome. So when we have a radical acceptance of our life, that is one and the same as positive indifference. And in doing that, what ends up happening is that we realize when we have positive indifference for our lives, we have positive indifference for ourselves. We're no longer trying to manipulate ourselves by withholding our own affection for ourselves. Positive indifference is unconditional love. And unconditional love comes all the way down to that relationship to being when people point in their chest and when they say, I mean something, and they speak about their heart. That is the radiant center of positive indifference, which is that phrase, I am. I am is an affirmative statement. When you say I am, you are saying something positive. I am is not a negation, it's an affirmation. So right there, when you say I am, and you're coming from that space of pure awareness, that awareness accepts everything as it is before it comes to your opinion about what you want it to be. So positive indifference connects you to genius and allows that genius to flow through you and come up with solutions that you would never have dreamed of. So, thank you, Gloria. I hope this has some clarification. And please let us know what questions you would like to have answered. Please share these. Recognize that we have to have an affirmation for this time. No matter what, we can make this world a better place. I'm going to ring the bell. I'm going to ask you to listen carefully. Here we go. Now, again, like the video, share the video, and build this community. Let's do this together. I bring my hands together and I bow to you, because no matter what happens, I know we're going to be all right. Namaste, my friend.